So I have a dirty little secret that I need to share with you that I even contemplating whether or not I should even show you. But I figured there's got to be other moms out there that are my age that have raised a family, and well, you'll see. Underneath this tablecloth is kind of scary, but I'm going to show you. Are you ready to see it? Let's go. So this is my dining table, and as you can see, it has seen better days. It has been through a lot of memories, we'll say. We're going to call them memories. That's it. Basically, this is another family heirloom. My mother bought this from what we can kind of piece together. She bought it in the early 1960s, and she had it for several decades. Then my sister had it, who is 14 years older than me. She stripped it down and stained it her color, and she had it for a while. Then it didn't work for her space anymore, so she gave it back to my mother, which she had it for a while. So once it didn't work for my mom's space anymore, she then gave it to me. And I stripped it down and I painted it white. I used a paint that they recommended at the big box store that would be good for a dining table. It wasn't. At least it hadn't been tested out on my family, apparently, because everything seemed to stick to it, like food stuck to it, it stained, it just didn't clean well. And so a few years back, I painted it. I probably had it a few years that way. I then stripped it down and started to strip it anyways. But since I had originally stripped it down to raw wood and then painted the wood, the paint has really soaked into the raw wood. And so it made it a little difficult, and I got discouraged and just kind of left it that way. And since my boys were still home and it still was getting used and abused, we've done art projects and science fair projects, and now my grandkids have done their mark on it. It's just really bad, and it's time for a makeover. So it's still a very good, super solid, sturdy piece of furniture that I think that I can restore and make her beautiful again. She's going to still have some memories left on her, but I think we can make something beautiful. So the original table was this trestle table and the bench that goes along with it. Later on, actually, I picked up at an estate sale the 2 caned ladderback chairs to go with the table, and they're all going to get a refresh, so keep that in mind as well. But if you'd like to see how she turns out and what I decide to do with it, follow along to the end of the video. Okay, so before we do anything else, what's our first step? Let me hear it. If you've been here a while, you know what the first step is. We need to clean it. So I got on my white lightning. We're going to give it a good scrub. Girl is dirty. My granddaughter has done some artwork down here. Lovely little darling that she is. Of course, you know, everyday wear and tear. So we need to scrub this girl down. I got out my white lightning bottle and my scrubber, and we're going to get scrubbed. All right, so I'm going to let that sit and let it do its action a little bit, since some of it is kind of gross. And anyhow, like I said, this didn't even know if I wanted to share it with you. It's kind of embarrassing. So you're going to scrub, scrub, scrub. And then I have a bucket of clear water, and we'll just wipe it down with a rag. So now that I have it all cleaned, I am going to use this carbide scraper to try to get the rest of the paint off. If I tried to use my sander right now, it would just gunk up the sandpaper on the sander too much, because there's still too much paint on here. Now, I've never used this before, so we're going to try it out on the bottom half as well to see if I can get the layers of, you know, the full layers of paint off as well. with hopefully not having to use stripper because it's just a mess. So basically all you're going to do with this is you're going to lay it down flat and you're just going to drag it. Excuse the scraping noise. And as you can see, it's pulling off layers of paint. I'm going to mute this here in a second because that scraping noise, it's killing me. So I can't imagine what it must be doing to your ears. But let's see how it works on getting through this paint. So this is working in some areas, like where it's not as thick, it's coming off, but where it is thicker, oh, it's killing my arm. That's what's happening. So where it's thicker, it's just not working. I mean, it's working and it would probably work better. It's kind of at an awkward angle for one, and two, my arm is just really killing me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put stripper on these areas that are thicker and then use the scraper on the thinner areas. And possibly after I get this first, top layer stripped off with the stripper, then I can go ahead and use the scraper. I think that's what I'm going to do. Because what I've got going on right now, it's hard, y'all. Yeah, putting the stripper on, much better. Look at how many layers I am taking off with just one application of the stripper. So it's not getting all the way there. So definitely coming back through with the scraper, that's doing the trick. We're getting right down to the regular wood. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that stripper all over the entire table, and I'm going to just smooth it out with a chip brush. All the materials and tools will be linked in the description box below. I do get a small commission from that. With each purchase, it helps this channel continue to grow, and it's so appreciated. Thank y'all so much. Now we're just going to cover it with some thin plastic so that it doesn't dry out, and it will help to really help activate all of that paint underneath. That definitely did the trick. So the underside of this table had some polyurethane on it, but I didn't strip it down to raw wood before I painted it. So it is definitely coming off a lot easier in that location. But the other areas, it's taking a bit more. We're definitely going to have to scrape it with our scraper. All right, so I am out here early this morning. I wanted to be out here a little earlier before that sun was glaring, but it didn't happen. So this is day 3. I've worked on it so far about 7 to 8 hours the first day. It was about 4 to 5 hours yesterday. And now hopefully I will get stain on here today. That's my goal. Because once I get this stain on, I will need to let it dry for 2 days. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking these heavy duty scrubbing pads and some mineral spirits, and I'm just scrubbing everything down. But first, let's put on some gloves. I put gloves on before this stripper as well. It just helps things to not, eat away at your hands. It's always nice. And we're just dipping it into that mineral spirits and scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing some more. Every little nook and cranny, trying to dissolve any leftover bits and pieces of paint and leftover stripper. we are going to then start the sanding process. I'm going to start with 60 grit sandpaper that will take down any of the other paint that might be left on the surface. After we sand everything with 60 grit, we then turn to 80. I write it on there with a pencil so that way when I know that I have sanded through the pencil marks, then we are ready to go to the next level. Make sure if you're using a cordless sander like I am, you have plenty of batteries charged as well. Then from there, we go up to 120 after that, doing the same exact process for the entire table. Every nook and cranny again. Keep on sanding. After the sanding is completely done, I did go up to 220 grit sandpaper. Now we're going to stain it with Dixie Belle's Voodoo Gel Stain and No Paint Gel Stain. We're doing the Voodoo Gel Stain first because it is a water-based stain. And what that's going to do is seal the pores just a little bit so that our No Paint Gel Stain doesn't soak into this super soft pine. It also is cutting the yellowness of it as well. I'm using the color Au Naturel, and it just tones the wood just enough to where the stain that I apply on top doesn't soak in blotchy amounts and gets a nice even color across the entire surface. After you apply it with a damp sponge, you spritz the wood first as well, but then you come through with a rag and just take off any excess that may have built up anywhere. Continue that process through the entire piece. As you can see, this is the bench, and you can really see how yellow that this would be if I just applied the gel stain to this raw wood without applying. It's almost like a toner that I'm putting on here with the water-based stain. It just tones the wood just slightly so that the application of the No Paint Gel Stain goes on much nicer. Now get those gloves on again and take that table back outside, because now we're going to put on the No Paint Gel Stain, which is a oil-based gel stain, and that odor is just too much for my household. You know, one of these days I'll get that workshop built. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that, you know, maybe that can happen sooner than we thought. But so I'm just applying with a rag. I put some on and then I let that sit for a while and then come back and just wipe down any excess, as well as just blend it in and get it nice and even. Isn't it beautiful? I told you it's had lots of dings and wears and tear, so there's lots of stains and whatnot in the wood. But I think it's as good as we're gonna get it. Now let's let it dry for 2 days and we'll prepare to get ready to seal it. All right, y'all, this process is taking much longer than expected. So I'm actually gonna wrap this video up here today. And in the next video, I will show you the entire process of how to seal the table. It takes a little bit of time and a lot of patience. So that's why it's taking a little longer than what I had expected, but it's turning out really pretty. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video, so you can see the full transformation of this dining table. We have so many fun projects that I'm working on right now, so make sure you come back. Bye-bye, y'all. We'll see you in the next one.